With the sight of planes leaving Kabul airport, for many, the promise of safety has evaporated in front of their eyes. Days of desperation have now become a moment of despair. Outside the tarmac and the gates of Kabul airport is the site of Thursday's deadly bombing that killed over 95 people. 2 of those, we now know, were British nationals. Another was the baby of a Briton. This morning, Defence Minister Ben Wallace said the words that those still clinging on to hope were dreading to hear. The gates are closed. He added that 10,000 Afghans, those on the resettlement scheme called ARAP, have been successfully brought to the UK.
We think there will be circa between 800 and 1,100 ARAP who didn't make it through.
That's a claim that's been widely questioned today by MPs, with inboxes overflowing with stories of Afghan nationals who say they've been abandoned. Many of those have been queuing outside the gates of Kabul airport for days, refreshing their emails, patiently holding their phone, waiting for it to ring. But today, without even a call or an apology from the British authorities, it's dawned upon them. The moment has passed. There is no seat on a flight for them. There is no ticket to safety. One man, who was a translator for the British Army for 3 years and was approved for relocation, was among those left behind.
Yesterday I went to the airport. They have just emailed me to go to the airport for evacuation. I went to the airport, but the gate of airport was closed. All the gates were closed. And there were like many checkpoints of Taliban, and they didn't let us to go to the gate. We tried a lot. We were there for 5 hours, but the Taliban in the end just beaten us and just warned us to leave the place or we will shoot you. Then we left the place and we came back home. After like 40 minutes, the explosion occurred.
What's your feeling now that you know that the gates are closed at the airport for British flights?
We are worried. We are so worried. We are scared and we are just disappointed.
Bittersweet luck and a beating from the Taliban took him and his family away from the queue before the explosion. Others who weren't as lucky and suffered the deadly blast were taken to a hospital already overrun with those injured in recent violence. Here, 62 casualties were brought.
The rate of arrival was very, very quick. So we receive a lot of casualties altogether from the services of Kabul ambulance and from private vehicle. And we started to make triage. To be honest with you, a lot of patients that we received yesterday was already dead on arrival due to the severity of the injury. And then we received other 40, more or less, people that required surgical intervention.
Among those left behind is another group we've become aware of, Afghan students from the Chevening scheme, which funds foreign nationals to study in the UK before taking up leading roles in their own country. Granted relocation, one former scholar told us that over 70 students weren't able to make it onto the final flights.
I started the day with the hope that today I'll be getting the email, and this morning they took the hope from me. They should have said, fine, we're not doing it for you. I would have started begging and knocking and asking other places, but I was sure. I've served the UK government so honestly. They kept me on hold, and today it was all cancelled. So this is like a hope that has been taken away from me.
You feel abandoned?
I feel abandoned, and I feel I've been left to the wolves.
They were given dreams of a new Afghanistan. Those dreams were shattered. Then, promises of safety in the UK, which today seem to have been empty ones. Futures lost and hopes now out of reach.
Emir Nader with that report. Now, the Foreign Office have told us that they have evacuated more than 13,700 people from Afghanistan in the past fortnight, and that some of those arriving in the UK include this year's Afghan Chevening scholars.